Hello karting enthusiasts, good to see you all. Thank you very much for joining me. This is round one of the Inkart series 2022. This is the second season. We're starting in P5. This is a random grid, so we're starting kind of mid-grid here. We've got someone in front of us. We're going to see if we can go right around the outside. We can almost do it, not quite there. We've got the inside for this second corner, but he has better drive than us, so we have to concede this one. He's still there. The top two, Nick Fallon and Flame, they are out in front. It's important that they don't get away too much, so just going to try and keep it nice and neat and tidy. The driver in front gets a massive swapper on. There he is, so that gives us a bit of an opportunity. Although he has gapped us by half a kart length. He's good on the brakes, actually. I didn't expect him to be so good. So, it wasn't a clean move. We have to let him back through. Just trying to get a good exit, albeit into quite a short straight. This is the alternate circuit. He's a little bit messy again, so we're going to try it up the inside of turn 2. He cuts back at us. There he is on our left and gets much better drive. So we're going to go in a little bit conservative, but he actually loses it mid-corner, and we are able to take advantage of that. So up into P3 from P5 on the grid, not a bad return for the first lap and a half. But you can see just from how much battling we were doing, how much the top two, Flame and Nick, have gapped us there. So quite a lot of work to do to try and reel these guys back in. Just a matter of keeping it quite neat and tidy and seeing if we can do that. I'd say, if anything, that part of the track we've just been through is quite a good part of the track, actually. I'd say that, if anything, we have gained back a small amount of time on them. It's still going to be a bit of a mission to get past them. So, like I say, thanks very much for joining us. This is the second season of the Inkart. We'll get cut to an outboard. There we are. That is myself, and then Tom Brown behind me. So what I would say is that, even though it looks like I'm just driving around nice and relaxed, Tom Brown, very, very fast driver. Tom Brown is the guy who destroyed everyone in round 1 of the Super Champs a couple of weeks ago. He is right on our tail, so it is absolutely not as easy as this is looking. Although I would say, again, in the early stages of this heat, it does look like we're sort of creeping up ever so slightly on the two in front. Can we maintain that once the two in front have their tyres warm up a little bit? I'm not so sure, but you'll have to wait and find out. So, like I was saying, this is round 1 of season 2 of the Inkart. So, Daytona Sandown Park ran season 1, which was kind of almost like a winter and spring season, quite a short season, really good fun. Lots of very, very good competition, and I'm really pleased to say that for the first time I actually won. I won a championship. I won 2 championships, actually, Super Champs and the Inkart. So this is really kind of sort of defending the title a little bit, actually. And they say that getting to the top's easy, but can you stay there? I don't know. You'll have to wait to the end to find out if I can defend my title effectively or not, or is someone else going to be the person? I'm really hamming this up, aren't I? Getting to the top is not exactly the top, is it? That is this is club racing. Quite a warm day again today. So for us heavyweights, it's not going to be quite as easy to sort of manage the lightweights ahead of us. These two ahead of us are lightweights. But what we find, generally speaking, is that, as I make a bit of a mess of turn 3 there, what we do find generally is that In the corners, if you are heavy, normally you do have slightly more grip as long as you're not overheating the tyres when it gets hot. This corner here we've just been through, I can't get that right. I'll say a little bit more about that next lap. But yeah, obviously in the straights, a little bit more tricky. So yeah, it was around this into that braking zone. You'll see if you keep watching the footage, particularly in Heat 2 and the final, in particular the final, I have to say, really nice race there. There's a whole gaggle of us going around together, like a flock of geese. Yeah, really good battling. Yeah, the final is a good watch, but. Really good fun, I'd say, this one. Now this is sort of typically, we're about to enter the part of the track now where I specifically lose loads of time. Trying to keep it really neat and tidy here. But you can see I have to drift out wide. Tom's able to take a much tighter line in there. Yeah, it's not the first time I've struggled to get out of that corner properly. I don't know if it's my line or something like that, but yeah, do tend to struggle to do that a little bit. So yeah, right. So what's been going on? Obviously, this is this is round one. This is a 7-round championship. All 7 rounds count. You get points for where you finish in the heats. Okay, so you get points for where you finish in the heats. So yeah, realistically, it is even if you're not fighting the lightweights, it's probably a good idea to do your best to finish ahead of them, or finish ahead of as many drivers as possible. You know, we've got Tom Brown behind us in the Super Champs. You know, I might be tempted to let him by. And not risk any kind of coming together with him. Really, today, I should be trying to keep him behind. Now, of course, it's not the end of the world if he gets in front of me, but you know, I probably shouldn't just be pulling over and letting him through. So I'm not going to pull over and let him through unless I can see that he's sort of up alongside me and he's going to get through anyway. Now, if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe. I've been starting to look at some Google Analytics, and I can see most people watching the videos aren't subscribers actually. So you know, I'd love to get a few more subscribers. It's really motivational. So you know, it's just a small little channel. I'm just doing it for the love of doing it. I really enjoy making these videos actually. So thanks very much for watching them. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, commenting, then that always helps. And the other thing that's going on now, as I make a really big mess, I'm talking over it, so you probably can't hear it, but I was going no in the crash helmet there, because I know that Tom Brown is right behind me, and that will be absolute joy to see for him to see me making that error there. Yeah, the other thing is Grubby Mango has an Instagram account, so if you're not friends with Grubby Mango, there is Tom. There he is, just a slight amount of rubbing. We just give him a little wave. He's just signalling to me that he's going to give me some space. We go side by side into the terrifyingly quick final, almost turn. We go all the way around the outside. He goes around the outside, and then unfortunately we're gonna lose this one now. There he is. Just gives us a thumbs up there. I wave back at him. Not really sure why I did that, as he obviously can't see me. He has to go very narrow, so we could get him on the exit, but we can't because we have a kart in the barrier. So real shame there. I could have perhaps got him on the exit there, just like the driver did to me. We're actually going to get him because the yellow flags go back in straight away. A little bit cheeky to take him on the exit of the yellow flag. Now he actually has the inside line here, so I could fight it around the outside, but very unlikely. I'm actually going to win that one, so I concede. It's actually quicker to let him go and see if I can get him back somewhere else. We're good through this section. I think having a bit more weight through this section probably does help actually. So we close right up in and we're right on his bumper, but there is the checkered flag. So yeah, very unfortunate. 4th on the road there, but P1 in class. So yeah, not a bad result. So again, we're about mid pack again. So you either start first heat 1, last heat 2, or mid-pack both times. So yeah, a bit of an average start, not too bad, but driver in front goes a little bit wide. We actually go 3 wide here. I was sort of sandwiched in a little bit, and there was a little bit of rubbing, but luckily we make it through. So we've got Justin Hammond, who is leading this class now. So Justin started last in heat 1. He's starting first in heat 2 therefore, and he's made an excellent getaway. We've got the ever quick Tom Brown, there he is in P2 chasing after Justin, trying to keep it neat and tidy. We've got Alex Tucker there, he goes defensive, then goes to the outside line, drifts wide, and we have to go left, right, and I'm pretty pleased with that. So I'm really sorry, Alex, but we're gonna have a look at this again. So he goes defensive. Here I'm thinking that there will be space on the outside, so I can maybe go on the outside, but I can see that he drifts across, so I have to get out of the brake, go right, and then back on the brake again. I have to lock the rear axle to try and get the car pitched, and we do in fact get it turned around. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with that move, yeah, up into P3. So now we've gone from 3rd in class to 2nd in class, and we've got Justin, the heavyweight, Tom, the lightweight, and then me, the heavyweight as well. And round this corner, oh dear, poor old Nick Fallon, who has broken down on the infield there. So we lose a few laps of racing actually, and we're under yellows for a few laps. We're going to go green now. Now actually this is a terrible spot for the race to go green. It doesn't really demonstrate it, but there's actually quite a big hill there that you're going up. So just as I had to get on the gas, it was a really big hill. Back marker in front of us nearly loses it, nearly takes us out as well. But luckily we live to fight another day. And in all of that, Tom Brown has gotten ahead of Justin Hammond. So Justin down to P2. And at this point I'm thinking, right, well I need to try and get after Justin now, because he is someone that we are going to be fighting for. He is a direct competitor, so really, really important that we try and get in front of him. Whether we can or not is another matter. Yeah, just having a look at my driving. One of the reasons I enjoy making these videos is that I can look and I can see where I'm losing time or gaining time to other people, and I find that is really helpful, and quite enjoyable as well. And I can see that in that corner we just went through there, life's pretty good. I'm making time up on people, but I can also see out of Vale, which is the long right-hander down the bottom end of the circuit. That's where I do seem to be losing a reasonable amount of time. What's also becoming apparent is that Justin seems to be more at risk of getting into first place again than he is at any risk of me taking his second place off him. So there he is, he's all over the back of Tom Brown like a rash. And there he is, he's going up the inside again. Tom and Justin go side by side. Tom just holds it around the outside. Not sure if Justin backed out there. A little bit difficult to see actually, because again we are a reasonable way back. Although as they have started fighting, we have reeled them in ever so slightly. But I would say that actually it's not looking overly likely, but I'm just going to cruise up to the back of these guys and remove their positions. I mean, particularly, perhaps unlikely that I was going to do that to Tom Brown, given that we're in different championships. But Justin, I need to be making some inroads on, and it's becoming at this stage to me very, very apparent that Justin is absolutely rapid, and he's always a very quick driver. Today he was absolutely insane. So what I'm going to say, first of all, I'm not going to give away the result or anything like that, but what I would say is very well done to Justin Hammond, just for the driving, and nothing else, because there's a really excellent performance, regardless of whether he wins, loses. Again, you'll have to watch to the end to find out. A good story. As a good storyteller, you don't want to give away your story, do you? Am I a good storyteller? Not sure. But anyway, again, Justin really all over the back of Tom Brown here. Tom's doing a good job of defending, and he's having to defend. This is quite funny actually, because of the last sort of 8-9 videos that I've put out, I've been talking about just clinging onto the back of the lightweight drivers and talking about how pleased I am to be racing with the lightweights and everything like that as well. Well, I mean, Justin Hammond today is proving that not only can you cling on to the back of the lightweights, but you can actually be beating them. So, you know, we've got lightweight, heavyweight, and the rest of the field are a combination of lightweights and heavyweights behind us. Yeah, Justin here is very, very much proving that you can be a heavyweight and you can be the fastest in the field, as he is at the moment. So, you know, two absolute quality drivers up ahead. Yeah, like I say, I was analysing my driving. You might have seen just then, that was a corner that I was never getting particularly, I wasn't getting it right. I was finding it a bit difficult to sort of predict how much braking and the turning point for that. I mean, sometimes I'd sort of try and brake a little bit later and then just wash out, loads of understeer, wouldn't get the kart turned at all. Sometimes I'd turn in and it would grip straight away, and it would I'd almost have turned in too early, and I'd end up in the grass on the infield. Not ideal either. It's actually a really important corner because you're kind of flat until the huge braking point. So again, we're going to have a look at it here. Let's see what I do here. So yeah, not using all of the road on the entry. Not the worst line in the world on the exit. It's all right, but yeah, definitely room for improvement around there. And again, you can see how much further in front these guys are, because I think they were getting that part of the track right, whereas I potentially was not. Yeah, this is a 10-minute heat. So you get heat 1 was 10 minutes. Heat 2 was 10 minutes as well. Now we've actually we've sort of lost a little bit of racing time because obviously the marshals had to clear away poor old Nick Fallon's kart, his stricken kart, and he had to walk back to the pits. So he had having to do the walk of shame there. Never a nice feeling. I've done it myself. It's yeah, a bit of a heart-sinking moment. But better it happens in heat 1 or 2 than the final, because of course if it happens in the final, then your chance of taking home some silverware is pretty much gone. I think in the final you get double points in the final for where you finish as well. So, you know, breaking down in the final is a real disaster for your championship. Breaking down in the heats, not ideal either, of course, but not quite as bad. And so you can see there at the end, you know, Tom and Justin were ahead and miles ahead and gapping me. You know, it wasn't likely that I was going to get them. I was absolutely giving it my all, and I just want to draw alongside Justin here. And just tell him, you know, very well done. You know, that was really good because he was so quick. There's no way I was going to get him. So Tom is on overall pole, Flame in front of us overall second. Justin is pole for the heavyweights. I'm thinking, can I go around the outside of him? Well, again, actually no, because he has moved himself up into P2, and here we are, outboard shot. Tom Brown trying to get a little bit of heat into his tyres. Here it is from my view. So yeah, thinking, where can I go? Left, right? Can I make any movement? Can I give Justin a fight? Well, I'm backing up a little bit there, but Tom Brown goes very, very wide into that corner. Perhaps his tyre's still not warm even after he's done all of that tyre warming, and Justin's all over the back of him again. It's Flame in third place, seeing if she can make any kind of inroads on these two as well whilst they fight, and kind of almost 3 wide here, and a bit of a lunge. I didn't really mean to do that. I was actually off track as I overtook her, so it wouldn't really have been a fair move, and I give the place back. Just there on the left hand side you see, there he is, Nick Fallon. You can't keep a good man down. He's in a different kart, he's in a new kart, he's warmed it up, and yeah, he's made some very, very rapid inroads. So actually my mistake there, I seemed to brake very early, but didn't seem to, in fact my tyres weren't particularly well prepared either. So yeah, lose a place, and at the same time Justin Hammond has relieved Tom Brown of his place, his first position. So like I was saying earlier, you know, I've been bleating on for weeks and weeks, months now, saying, you know, it's really difficult to keep up with the lightweights. Well, Justin Hammond is a heavyweight, and now he's ahead of the whole field, all of the lightweights, all of the heavyweights. So huge well done to him. I need to try and see what he's doing, because I want to copy off of him, copy his homework. Tom Brown is beginning to fight back now, so we've got two sort of battles. We've got the battle for first and second, we've got the battle for third and fourth, we've got me watching it all, beginning to lose just a little bit of time to these guys. You can see that they are all very close together, nose to bumper, and we are a couple of kart lengths behind. That couple of kart lengths is now beginning to increase as I get Vale wrong again. Just can't seem to get a happy medium between the slide. Nick and Flame go side by side. Nick goes up into an overall P3 and marches on towards Tom Brown's P2, overall P2, and class lead. I am still unable to do anything about Justin Hammond, who has got 3 lightweights now as his rear gunners, stopping me from making any kind of inroads on him. But to be honest, again, all of these guys seem to be a little bit quicker. So the battle for lightweight honours now is on. Tom Brown defends. Nick goes onto the inside. They go side by side, and Nick Fallon up there now into to lightweight P1, and he's going to try and get after Justin now. It's all getting really close. Tom goes back at him. I sense an opportunity here. We're going to dive up the inside. We're going to relieve Flame of that position there, almost get Nick as well actually, but not quite. Nick and Tom going side by side again. Tom goes outside. I'm beginning to lose my voice listening to all this. It's a really great battle, really great to be part of it. But the man out ahead, who's not being troubled by any of this, is Justin Hammond. We just nibble into the back of Tom there slightly, and Tom takes a very shallow line. And again, we're just getting into the back of him. I feel that at this stage of the race, Tom is just losing a little bit of his momentum, losing a bit of his his cadence, and that is really important. You know, you need your momentum. You need to get in your the sort of swing of it. You get what's the word they use? Racing drivers. Your rhythm. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. So Tom has just lost his rhythm slightly, and again, as we cut to another outboard shot. There's Justin, there's Nick, there's Tom, there's me in the white helmet with the black suit. And you can see that it's a good little battle actually. Again, most people are pretty similar on pace. There's no one really who's miles off the pace and is nowhere near it. We've got a good field, and any kind of mistake is going to be punished. You're not going to be able to make have a half spin or slide the kart in any kind of way and not be punished for it. So it's a good thing, I think. If you want to if you want to have a really good kart race where you can't be thinking about anything else other than exactly what you're doing, it's incredibly therapeutic actually. I'd say that, being able to just focus on the race, not being able to focus on anything else at all, then this is the good thing about this kind of close racing. Tom kicks up the dust. It goes into my eyes actually. If anyone hasn't seen it, there's some footage of Daniel Ricciardo defending at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, and he dips a wheel into the grass on purpose, and it sprays up into sort of, people like Leclerc's face. I think it's from a year or two ago, and it just reminded me of that. I actually forgot to take my hay fever tablet, so I don't think Tom knew that, but every time he kicks up a little bit of dust, I'm thinking, really should have taken that hay fever tablet. And my own fault though. Should have been more organised. Tom here at this point is now, I think, beginning to get his rhythm back again. He's pulled out a small advantage. What's that, about a second or so? A couple of kart lengths, and he is going to start, as he's done it again there. Let you see all the grass flicking up there. Thank you very much, Tom Brown. It's all right. I know you weren't doing it on purpose. He's starting to gap us. But can I just draw your attention to what Justin Hammond is doing again? He and Nick Fallon are now way out in front. You know, they are a considerable distance out in front. Again, just got no answer for this. There's no way, looking at my current raw pace, that I am going to be able to get up to Justin and Nick. They are just far too fast. This is a 15-minute final. The heats were 10 minutes each, and the final is 15 minutes. Again, too early there absolutely destroys your exit, and I know I've done it wrong. I'm looking over because Flame is right behind me here, and I know I've got that wrong. It's just a bit strange actually. It's everywhere else. Right, I'm going to say actually with regard to the kart, how was the kart today? It was very, very good. I can't complain at all. It was very predictable, and again, what I really, really like in my driving is a predictable brake pedal which provides lots and lots of feedback. So you'll notice that I might do it here. No, I don't quite do it there actually. I'm sort of ever so slightly locking the rear axle and just kicking the tail out ever so slightly. Now, what I like to do is just have the tail dancing on the entry into the corners. I was able to do it around this corner into this very heavy braking zone here. So let's see if I'm able to do it. Yeah, so can you see how on the as we get a snap mid corner, but can you see how I was? It looked like I was fighting a small amount of oversteer on the way into the corner. That's what I really like to do, and that shows me personally that I'm braking at the absolute limit. I think I'm possibly going in a little bit too hot. I think probably my fastest laps, I've had a look at them, were when I wasn't getting too much slide on. But in terms of whether or not that is fast, for me, generally speaking, yes. So you can see we've got a battle for P1 overall, then Tom Brown kind of in no man's land, and then myself and Flame, we are battling for honours. I'm P2 in class at the moment. She will be P3 in class, but like I said to you earlier, everyone is fighting everyone kind of, so it's well in my interest to keep her behind. We've got a back marker just here, hoping that we can get past without too much trouble. He gets a slide on the exit, and that kind of ruins our exit as well. So we're going to dive bomb him into turn 3. Fortunately, I hit the back of him slightly as he got a bit of a limited, bit of a poor exit. Fortunately for me, Flame then hit the back of me as well, so my exit was ruined, but then so was hers. So I was pretty fortunate and sort of lived to fight another day. There you are. There's the sort of small amount of oversteer. Now, if you've got a decent amount of feel in the brake pedal, you can do that. If the brake pedal feels horrible, if you've got no idea what it's going to do, if the rear grip is horrible and you're worried about the rear breaking away and very unpredictable, you really cannot, you can't do that. And if you can't do that, then personally, for me, I find it very difficult to sort of feel like I'm extracting the maximum from the braking zone there. You'll notice that that's a better line into that corner that time. You'll notice that I think with regard to this top corner, where I am able to we call it backing it in. If you see MotoGP riders doing that, here I was actually, I think, probably one of the fastest guys today, just in that corner. I was able to grab a lot of time back, even though I was losing time in most other places. I feel pretty quick there, and that's where I've sort of been doing my overtaking in today's session. But yeah, you see MotoGP riders, don't you? You see them putting all of the weight over the front, the rear swinging out slightly to get the bike turned. That's pretty much what I'm trying to do with the kart here as well. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. Again, other thank yous, big thank yous to Aidan Fallon, who has provided more fantastic outboard shots. So yeah, really enjoying watching them as I go defensive into this corner now. Flame all over the back of me. I don't really want to lose the position. I cannot afford to be losing more points than I need to the absolutely rapid Justin Hammond, who's looking likely to take honours, to take first blood in round 1 of this championship. And frankly, if I'd known how quick Justin has become, I probably wouldn't have been waving Tom Brown through. He probably would have got me anyway. But if you think back to Heat 1, I was sort of waving Tom Brown through, perhaps not defending as hard as I should have been. That's actually points lost, and it's going to have to be lesson learned, because Justin again, he's sort of at the thick end of the track ahead of me now, this long straight ahead of me. And I cannot afford to be losing any points. This is going to be a really tricky championship if he's going to be this quick. So I hate losing. I'm not a good loser, but if I am going to lose, then what I would say is that I'm glad that I'm losing to someone who is as fair a racer and as friendly a face in the paddock, and who is a real gentleman, and who has not had it easy. He's had his fair share of people taking him out and bad luck, but he's always come back with a smile on his face, and he's just been getting quicker and quicker and quicker. So if I am going to lose, then I'm pleased that I was going to say it's not a problem. It is a problem. But if I am going to lose, I'm glad that I'm losing to Justin, because I think he does deserve it, and very well done to him for the performance he's putting in today. So again, just trying my absolute best to not lose this position, and it's easier said than done. That's the other thing I was going to say. This corner here, it kind of looks a little bit like I'm taking a bit of a funny line in there, and I'm taking a bit of a shallow line, turning in a bit too early. Now again, this camera doesn't really demonstrate it, just like the hill that we've just driven up, but there's actually a real camber change, and if you hug the inside there, then you get the benefit of the camber, and it does, I think, sort of help. It allows your minimum speed to be higher at the apex, and then of course, if you're carrying more speed through, you'll get up into the higher rev range a lot faster, and that's the important thing about these karts, two-stroke karts. Getting the engine high up into the rev range is the most important thing, it might mean changing your driving style from when you were doing the Sodis. A couple of seasons ago, I was doing the Sodi race followed by the DMAX race, and I didn't do that. I think I did that about 4 times. What I'd say is that on the times when I went Sodi followed by DMAX, I didn't perform very well, and that's because the requirement to be fast in those two karts is very different, and I'd sort of do quite well in the Sodi race and then end up doing very badly in the other race. So there we have it. What was I? P4 overall. Did manage to stay ahead just at the end there, but P2 in class. Oh, sorry, Flame, just put her in there. And there we are. The winners, both the lightweights and heavyweights. Well done to Justin. Well done to everyone. Thanks very much, and see you next time.